What's up guys, Dylan Sider with Kinfolk Carpentry here, and today I'm going to be working on some stairs, and also I wanted to show you a few accessories I recently picked up. Alright, let's get into it. So basically what I got to do here is notch this newel post 1 inch so that I can center that on where my balusters are going to be. And because all my balusters are getting mounted to the outside of this stringer, my newel post needs to shift in by about 1 inch. This stuff is great. Tight grab. It is kind of like an instant grab. Really liked it. Fire. Alright, so as you can see here, I notched it around. I drilled some holes here that will get some plugs in them, like so. This will glue them in. So that is all nice and plumb. And then up here, I'm putting a 5/4 piece of wood to accept all my balusters that are going to get nailed to the outside of the stringer. And I notched that so that can be centered where my balusters land center on my newel post, and that'll in turn make my handrail centered on my newel post. So that's all glued and screwed and plenty strong. Alright, you guys may be wondering why this all of a sudden went from a poplar post to an oak post. The reason is I'm an idiot, basically. I measured from the wrong spot down here and my post was too short. My handrail was like right at 34, like here, and 34 is the minimum. I actually want 36, and I just was worried that it wasn't going to pass inspection because it was right on the cusp. So I got a new post and put that in, but the second time it goes a lot faster. So I'm back to the point I was before. I put a board in here to accept my handrail that's going to come up and die into that, as well as all my balusters will die into that as well. So I'm ready to start working on the handrail. Alright, so let's get into the accessory I wanted to talk to you about today. It is a Bluetooth switch for a vacuum made by ShopVac. I got it on Amazon. I think it was 23 bucks, and it has been very helpful. As you can see, it's just nice to be able to press a button and voila. So here is the switch itself. I have it just strapped around the hose of my vacuum. When you press it on, it turns green. When you shut it off, it turns red. I'm not sure why it does that. It's pretty obvious when it turns it on. Maybe if you don't have your vacuum switch on, it might let you know that it's supposed to be on, but it's not. So I didn't really even know something like this existed, but I was working with a friend of mine who has a Festool vacuum, probably like a $600 vacuum, and his vacuum had a switch on the hose, and I'm like, that is actually really nice. I found it really handy as we were cleaning up at the end of the day, and as we hooked it up to the miter saw and things like that, and made it very convenient to just turn it on and off. So I didn't know this existed for other vacuums, so I just Googled it, and it came up on Amazon. It was super cheap, and the thing works like it should, and voila. One of my favorite features of that Festool vacuum now I have on my rigid vac, and yeah, you're off to the races. Real quick tip, this hose end fits perfectly on my other miter saw, my Makita, but it does not fit on this guy here. They're the same size, diameter. So, an easy thing that a lot of contractors have is an empty caulking tube. So I just used that as a fitting. I cut it and just made it a little tight on one side, so it fits over like this, and then boom, custom fitting. I just cut it, put a little tape on it to make it a little narrower, and there you go. You have a fitting for your miter saw, and it's out of something you probably just have kicking around the job. Alright, so basically now what I'm doing is from my nosings, I've got my mark at 36 here, which is where I kind of messed up last time. It's about 36 there. Alright, so I'm just holding that on my marks, and just 47.5 degree. Alright, got that cut sitting in there where I want it. I'm going to put a few screws in through here and up into there, and then those will get covered with my fillet. So I'm just leveling this by putting a baluster in where it needs to go, and just knocking that to where it needs to go, like that. So it's time for me to do all my balusters through here, and what I do is I use an app called Baluster Pro, and I'll show you a picture of that, a screenshot of it circled, so that you guys know what I use. It makes it super simple. You just type in all the information you need. Length on your rake, your desired spacing, all those things, and it'll work it all out for you, and makes it super simple. You don't have to futz with blue tape and marking it and trying to subtract baluster thickness and all that kind of stuff. You just type it in, good to go. So right here, I just built a little jig for my laser level to sit plumb on the stringer, and I'm just marking each one of my balusters leading edges up top so that I know which one of my balusters is level, so I don't have to try to level them individually. this is actually the second accessory that I wanted to talk to you about today. I wouldn't necessarily call it a tool, but right here, this is just a collapsible tool cart. I have seen these kind of floating around online, and I find this thing super nice because nothing is worse than like when you're working and stuff is just gathered around your feet because you're using nailers and glue and all those things, and it clutters up your workspace. This is really nice that you can kind of keep it beside you. It rolls really nice, and you can just keep it with you, put all your stuff that you're using on it as you're working, keeping things off the floor, keeping things from scratching the floor or getting damaged. It's up where you can see it, keep it somewhat organized, even though this is a little bit cluttered at the moment, you know. This one here is a very basic one. Again, just bought it on Amazon for, I think it was $100. I know Crescent makes one now that, I forget what it's called, Sight Runner, I think, Crescent Sight Runner, but that thing's like $229. This one, each shelf can hold 70 pounds. I don't ever foresee myself putting 70 pounds on these. My tools, you know, they're heavy, but I can't fit 70 pounds of tools on these things, where I think the Sight Runner, the Crescent one, can hold like 100 and something pounds each shelf, like 110 pounds. And it's a little bit bigger, which is nice, but this thing folds completely flat, so it's easy to just pick up and store in your van or your work vehicle. Yeah, I really love it. I've only been using it a day or two, and so far it has been a game changer. Keeps me more organized. All right, here it is, empty, nice and light, and I'm just gonna fold it up. You basically just click this button back here, and I'm doing this one-handed, but you basically just, whoop, and then it clicks again. There it is, flat, and it locks into flat with this, and to unlock it you just release that pin and fold it out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That does it for this video. Drop a comment below with your favorite accessory that you use around the job site. I'd love to hear it, and we'll see you on the next video.